Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Gordiano, and I've been assigned to deliver a speech on the battalion staff and how it runs. And in reality, we're going to talk about how to run a battalion staff meeting, which leads into the company meetings. As a senior NCO, I was assigned to prepare staff meetings as an S3 NCO. That's a staff NCO that works up the battalion. And I had to learn how to set up both, not just staff, but training meetings as well. Training meetings and staff meetings are set up in procedures. Training meetings are different from staff meetings. Training meetings are done by the companies. In other words, they find out what each company needs to succeed. Equipment, training aids, and lands. But in JROTC, we do it a little different. All we worry about is uniforms. Because in reality, we don't have weapons and we don't have other equipment, vehicles and stuff. So we do it a little bit different than the actual Army does. And how do we organize a training meeting? A company commander and the first sergeant and the company XO, executive officer, attend the meeting. And because we're in JROTC, we have 4 companies. We have Alpha, which is first period. Second period is Bravo Company. Third period is Charlie. And sixth period is Delta. And of course, we have headquarters detachment. How do we organize it? Well, starting off with each company by period, they discuss what their needs are and what's expected from them as far as getting guidance from the battalion. The battalion commander, the cadet in charge of the entire battalion, which is 220 cadets this year, will get up there and will put out their goals for the year or for that quarter. We go by quarter instead of actual the whole fiscal year. Once the information is put out, the command sergeant major gets up, and in reality, command sergeant major for the battalion and the first sergeants for the companies are in charge of all training. As soon as that's done, S1, which is our personnel actions officer, gets up, discusses records and dues and all that good stuff that each company needs to focus on to make sure that their uniforms and all that stuff, which is the S4, which is the supply operations officer. He eventually gets up and talks about that with the supply sergeants. I'm leaving out the S2 and the S6. Those are your physical security officers or NCOs, and what they do is they cover on anything that we have that needs to be secured, such as our drill rifles. The next person to get up is the S3. Vital to the program, and why? Because they're vital due to the fact that they are the ones that control all the calendars. Some of you cadets in here right now are going to eventually wind up being in one of these positions, hopefully soon, rather than later. We're talking next year. What does that job entail? It entails taking care of the battalion as a whole. Anytime that we transport cadets, they're responsible. Anything that goes onto the training calendar that is published every week, they're responsible. Anytime that we get ready to move out to a field trip, they're responsible to make sure that the paperwork gets done and gets handed in a timely manner to our administration up at the front office. The last and not the least is our S5. The S5's job is to ensure that this company is acknowledgements, competitions, field exercises, field trips are all publicized throughout the county, and we actually have one of the better ones in Howard County. We have 3 schools here, and she's done an exemplary job at it. In conclusion, to ensure that we continue success in the coming year, we must be prepared to conduct proper meetings. That means ensuring that everybody makes it to the meetings on time, with all their equipment that they need, with all their training schedules in hand to discuss what they need from the battalion and then what the battalion needs out of the companies. If there's no questions, this concludes my class. Have a good day.